Mandy and I welcome you back to Jesus Calling for November 29th. Let me infuse my peace into your innermost being. Who needs peace infused into their life today? Raise your hand. Mandy, let's raise our hands. All right, we are going to look at Isaiah 58:11 and Isaiah 40:11. Isaiah 58:11 says, "The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fall." Isaiah 40:11, I love this verse. "He tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms, and he carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that have young." Let me infuse my peace into your innermost being. As you sit quietly in the light of my presence, you can sense peace growing within you. That is not something that you accomplish through self-discipline and willpower. It is opening yourself to receive my blessing. In this age of independence, people find it hard to acknowledge their neediness. However, I have taken you along a path that has highlighted your need for me, placing you in situations where your strengths were irrelevant and your weaknesses were glaringly evident. Through the arduity of these desert marches, I have drawn you closer and closer to myself. You have discovered flowers of peace blossoming in the most desolate places. You have learned to thank me for hard times and difficult journeys, trusting that through them I accomplish my best work. You have realized that needing me is the key to knowing me intimately, which is the gift above all gifts. I love this one part. I'm going to read this again. In the age of independence, people find it hard to acknowledge their neediness. However, I have taken you along a path that has highlighted your need for me, placing you in situations where your strengths were irrelevant and your weaknesses were glaringly evident. Have you ever been in those situations where your strengths were irrelevant, like the best things that you could offer weren't needed or didn't really matter, and then your weaknesses were glaringly evident? God puts us in those situations sometimes because then He wants us to be leaning on His power and His strength, and not just to be saying, hey, I can do this all myself, but we need to be leaning on Him, right? So that's a really interesting thought. So I hope today, as you go through today, that you just realize that we need to be leaning on Him and using the talents that He's given us to be out there, going out there and helping people for His glory. So have a great day just resting in His peace and leaning on Him for your strength. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. You can order your own Jesus Calling devotional book by going to jesuscalling.com. And I would love to answer any questions you may have about faith in Jesus. Just email me through my website, nancyjoytoyou.com. And I hope you go out and shine for Him today. See you tomorrow.